If you can't do and execute your job honorably, please leave and let somebody else do it. That's all I'm going to say.
On that note, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Muhammad for being here. I want to leave you with Prosecutor Sarah Sammy says it's to Judge Weimer in the Brady motion that was filed yesterday, that went through yesterday. 18 Brady violation went through, approved by Judge Carol Weimer. And the only thing Judge Weimer didn't approve is the release of the communication of Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, with the police, with the individuals that are being used as witnesses in this case. And the only thing that Prosecutor Sarah Sammy tells Judge Carol Weimer, and the reason that it should not be released, she tells him, is dangerous, Your Honor. It's dangerous to probe into the communication with the officers involved in this case. It's dangerous to probe with my communication with those officers. It's dangerous to probe into what they said to each other, what I said to those individuals that I'm using as witness. It's dangerous, Your Honor. What I tell you is this is exculpatory evidence. When you talk about children being weaponized against Mustafa, abused in the process by police. That's what the body cams showed. The children are talking about it in the forensic interview. When you talk about a vehicle that's crushed and staged by the police, when you talk about a dash camera where Officer Chad Mason admitted to cutting and muting the dash camera, Mustafa's dash camera is cut and muted by the officer. When you talk about Mustafa's statement being falsified by investigator Robert Drum, those communications are exculpatory evidence. They are absolutely exculpatory evidence because there are missing body cams from the server in the police department, evidence.com. And those communication is going to show what took place in this whole entire case, because the details that are coming out is that this is a car accident. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. Mustafa lost his family in a tragic vehicle accident. But yet you have Mustafa sit in a county jail in solitary confinement for 2.5 years without a trial. Mustafa's due process has been violated, and Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is terrified to release her communications. She tells the judge, it's dangerous, Your Honor. Well, I'll tell you it's dangerous because it's going to show that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile. Not only a criminal, a pedophile, where he admit on a recorded line, Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, that says on a body cam, I don't know Mustafa. Mustafa doesn't know me. He admit on a body cam. He says that. So how could you use someone that's not there? Mustafa doesn't know him. And I remind this community, Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth is charging Mustafa with murder. You need motive. They want to tell you that the motive in this case is Mustafa. The boyfriend, Mustafa, Dorothy's boyfriend, is jealous from the ex-boyfriend. Oh, wait a minute. If the ex-boyfriend is telling you Mustafa doesn't know me, what are we talking about? You're building a whole entire case on an individual that Mustafa doesn't know? That on a body cam says, Mustafa doesn't know me, I don't know Mustafa. I was never there. And then goes on and makes a bunch of lies. And then turns around and says, I was never there for anything that I said. That's on a body cam. That's already been released. And then later goes on, admit to a private investigator on a recorded line that he sleeps and drugs a 16-year-old. That's why it's dangerous. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy tells Judge Weimer it's dangerous. That's why it's dangerous. Because Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth, this community is going to see that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is using a pedophile as the star witness in the Mustafa Aljazari case. In the falsified case of Mustafa Aljazari. And I leave you with the ad they're running all over the community for the upcoming Attorney General, Jay Jones, who's running against Jason Mayors. Where in this ad, Amy Ashworth says, I support Jay Jones because he's tough on pedophiles. He's tough on sex offenders. Well, Commonwealth's Amy Ashworth, you're using a pedophile in the Mustafa Aljazari case. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam, Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope, and Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, the community is the deciding factor. I want everybody to watch this ad and watch it again and watch it over and over and over and hear Commonwealth Amy Ashworth tell you that she supports the upcoming Attorney General, Jay Jones, because he's tough on sex crimes. He's tough on pedophiles. Well, the real question is, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, what's your position on pedophiles? Because we're watching you use Glenn Ford, a pedophile, in the Mustafa Aljazari case. Or is it whatever it takes to get Mustafa? A Mustafa in this community has to be put back into his place. How dare a Mustafa sue the police? How dare a Mustafa sue the police? Oh, wait a minute. Mustafa doesn't get due process. You don't care that this is a car accident. A white girl is dead. A Mustafa was driving the car. It doesn't matter if it's a car accident. It doesn't matter, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. To you, it doesn't matter. In Prince William County, it doesn't matter because it is a Mustafa. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Judge Weimer, you're under the microscope, sir. The community is watching you preside over the Mustafa Aljazari case.
As a sheriff,
as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker.
Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff,
as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.
Jay Jones has the experience. He's been an assistant attorney general and a state lawmaker.
Jay Jones increased funding for police and cracked down on sex offenders.
As Attorney General, Jay Jones will put violent criminals and drug traffickers where they belong, behind bars.
I'm Jay Jones, running for Attorney General to keep Virginia safe.
As a sheriff,
as a prosecutor,
Jay Jones is who we trust to keep Virginia safe as our next Attorney General.